Hi, I'm Bobby Chiu, and I also have on here my co-host, the amazing, the incredible Acedera. We're both Emmy-winning creators/artists that work in film. Welcome to our 90 Mac Life Drawing class. This is a free class every Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Pacific Time, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. We do 90 minutes of life drawing together here on my YouTube channel. So if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification button so you get an email notification whenever there's a new class or video. How this works is pretty simple. We do 4 1-minute poses, 4 2-minute poses, 4 5-minute poses, and then 5 10-minute poses, and that's it. That's the 90-minute art challenge. Each week is a different topic. When you're done the session, post your sketches on social media and hashtag it 90min art challenge so everyone can see your sketches. We'll do the same. Also, if I may recommend something for all the artists out there looking to really level up quickly, I highly recommend Schoolism.com. I teach on there as well as many of the top artists in the industry, so when you subscribe to Schoolism, you get access to the entire library of courses, over 50 courses in total, as well as access to exclusive live webinars every week. Just sign up at Schoolism.com. The 90 Mac Life Drawing class is also brought to you by Lightbox Expo. It's the ultimate event to network and meet the artists and creatives behind your favorite movies, TV shows, animations, illustrations, and games. We expect over 10,000 artists attending this year and hundreds of guests and speakers. This is happening October 14th to 16th, 2022 in Pasadena, California. Lightbox Expo also has a Discord where artists meet to do the 90 Mac life drawing classes together, as well as other fun activities and events. All right, now on to today's life drawing session. All right, hey everybody, and welcome. Let's get started, huh? Let's just jump right into it. It's all about the big cats today. All right, here we go. The very first pose is a 1-minute pose, starting now. I'll fix the chime. Okay, chime is fixed, and let's go. These are just 1-minute poses, so don't be too concerned about what they look like, alright? It's really all about putting in that effort. Okay, I think that was the chime. I'll turn up the sound here. That was the first 1-minute pose. Let's go on to the second one. Here we go. 1-minute pose starting. The sound is like, it feels cut off, but okay. Figure that out.
That's a bit weird.
That was a little weird, right? That sounded a little weird?
It did.
Alright.
The color is amazing for this one.
I know, I was like, I was really struggling to think, should I put this in one of the later ones because of the color? But we actually have so many beautiful images today. Figuring out how to deal with all these stripes in a short, kind of effective way is going to be a little challenging today, I think.
My tiger looked like he was giving the eye roll.
This tiger looks like, what? It's giving an eye roll.
When
That's
they drew
great.
it the
That's
first
great
time.
to come up with stories.
An eye roll.
All right, now I could hear the chime. Okay, that was the second 1-minute pose. Here we go. Next 1-minute pose. Let's just start it a little early. Here we go. very kind of statue-esque. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely heard that chime. All right. Last 1 minute pose. These go by so quick. Here we go. Last 1 minute pose starting now. Our chime is hurting. It's like it's on its last legs or something.
Why is that? That's so funny.
I know, right?
I love how cats and big cats usually have this drowsy look on their face because they're sleeping most of the time, right? That's the big thing about cats. They spend a lot of time sleeping.
There's actually a really great course. It's more like a art workout, kind of like this, with Terryl Whitlatch on Schoolism, and it's all about felines. And I got to kind of make the course with Terryl a bit because I got to just kind of go over all her drawings and chat with her about her thought process and things like that, and like the interesting things about big cats versus little cats versus whatever. All right, next pose, here we go. But the thing that, one of the many amazing little bits of knowledge that Terryl drops in that course is like, what's the difference between a big cat and like a smaller cat family? I actually put in a smaller cat family member in here. I wonder if anybody can tell which one that is. If you know what the difference is between a big cat and the big cat family and like the smaller cats kind of family, let us know in the chat there.
Size. No, that's a joke, sorry.
Genius. No. What a genius. Yeah, if anybody has any guesses, they can, maybe you could read them out, but otherwise
I'll keep an eye on the chat.
it's very enlightening. There's a very simple one. Well, I won't give it away. Let you guys guess a little bit first as we do some more drawings.
Beautiful face, Kay.
Oh,
The cat.
Patricia. Staring lovingly at you.
Stripes on this tiger are amazing. So pretty.
I totally forgot like why cat had big stripe, but it's for camouflage of the trees and tall grasses.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, that always seemed funny to me when I was a kid until I saw like a black and white photo of a tiger, you know, in
That
this
makes sense.
environment.
Yeah.
You're like, oh yeah, if you can't see orange, it's actually super hard to see these guys. And even if you can see orange, you know, it'll still be very difficult. Okay, next one. Here we go. Oops. Ah. Shoot. All right, here we go.
Oh.
Someone in YouTube chat said this costume is from Asia, right? Last week.
That was fun. That was really fun. If anybody missed it last week, we did Mr. Global. That was really great.
Ah, look at that happy stretch.
Mhm.
So cute.
That's why, like, having house cats are super cool too, because they do the exact same stuff, you know, and it doesn't take that much imagination to imagine like a lion or a leopard, panther in your living room. Oh, this is a 2-minute pose. No wonder I was like, how come I still have time?
Yeah, Trisha, you were talking about camouflage for tigers, but isn't the modern reason for tigers just to express themselves, right? That's just the modern tiger.
See, isn't it so
we
bad
are
when-
becoming the tigers in reality, in fashion, right? Like you see women with stripes everywhere. Sorry, Bobby. What were you saying?
Oh, I was gonna say, isn't it kind of like shitty when you don't hear laughter right away and you tell a joke?
The scary void.
I remember when I was having trouble with my mic, and then you guys couldn't hear me, and I was like attempting some jokes.
Yeah, in your mind, you're like, I'm pretty sure that was funny, right? Why is no one responding?
In my mind, I was like, oh, that's a crappy joke.
Beautiful animals.
Definitely. Oh, you know what? I got a. We have a big cat story. So, like, years ago, one of the first times we went to Brazil, I think it was maybe our second time in Sao Paulo, and we were doing workshops, and then after the workshops, we went to this animal rehabilitation center. Or actually, sorry, let me do this in order. After the workshop, we go back to our hotel and everything, and we're watching the news, and we see some crazy stuff, you know, some normal stuff, and then some crazy stuff. And the crazy stuff was like, oh, there was this police helicopter that was shot down from the favelas. Like, I don't know, like somebody shot a missile at it or something with a rocket launcher. And then the other thing was, there's this giant cat, a giant cougar or mountain lion or whatever that's in the city, and it was kind of in a tree surrounded by police, and that was the story. I didn't, you know, don't know Portuguese, so that's all I got for you. But then we're gonna go to this animal rehabilitation center the next day, right? So we go the next day just to, you know, check it out, and we want to help and raise some funds and things like that. And so we go, and it's great. It's like this wonderful place full of these very loving people that really take care of these poor animals that are, you know, in there for various situations. And then she brings us to this giant cat, this cougar, right? And she goes, yeah, this cougar we got in yesterday from the city. It was actually owned by this, like, drug dealing, animal trafficker kind of person, and I think it escaped and started wandering around the streets and started to approach people because it likes people. It's domesticated, right? It lives with a person or something. And then, so it approached people started freaking out, and it got scared. It got chased pretty much into a tree. And then the police were called and everything, and the police came. They're ready to shoot this thing, this beautiful animal. And then they call the animal rehabilitation center for big cats, the one that we went to, and tells the lady there that runs the place, we have this big cat, it's up in a tree, you want to come and get it? If you don't get it, we're gonna shoot it, right? And so she opens up her drawer full of equipment or whatever, and sees like 2 blow darts or something. Like not even trank guns, like blow darts, right? And let's go on to the next one here. Next one are 5-minute poses. Wow, this is going by real quick. So anyways, she goes into the city with her blow dart, her 2 little blow darts. She never gets any time off. She just takes care of the animals for like 20 years with no vacation, not much resources, with her tiny little 2 blow darts. And she was like telling us how nervous she was because if she missed, then the police would kill the animal.
Yeah, the life of the animals at risk.
Yeah, but apparently she's a good shot with a blow dart because she got the animal, and that was the animal that we were staring at that day. And then she was like, yeah, he's like a giant house cat.
Yeah,
And was like, you could put your hands in there. And so we did, and then that cat, this giant cat, comes up to us and like totally like runs its face like right up against our hands, like it wants to get pet.
Yeah,
This
so
thing was
sweet.
like a miniature horse, this thing was so big. Holy smokes.
And
was
the
amazing.
tongue, I can't forget the tongue. When it licks you, it was like sandpaper.
Yeah, it really, you could feel the grip, right? Like you just know this beautiful creature could lick the skin right off your hand if it wanted
problem.
to. Yeah, there you go. That's my little story.
What a story.
Amazing story.
Yeah, and we ended up raising like a whole bunch of money for that rehabilitation center and everything, so that was really nice. Sometimes you give money to charity and such, but then you don't fully see where it goes, right? And so this was like extra special to us because we got to meet the people involved, and it's really like one main person and a bunch of volunteers. They just need resources. Yeah, it's really great. What was the charity called again, Kay? You remember, don't you?
Metaciliar.
Yeah, Metaciliar.
And there is one that was called Projecto Moki.
Projecto what? What was it?
Moki, like
Mookie.
Project.
Oh yeah,
Moki.
Yes. So the other one we went to visit was for monkeys, mostly. There are other kind of creatures there too. We'll save that for the monkey week.
Yeah,
The monkey
there's
week.
some good monkey stories.
Yeah, we got some good monkey stories.
By the way, at your earlier question, like what is the difference between a pack of like smaller cats or bigger cats?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people have been guessing in chat.
Oh.
I've been like one of the guesses from Noah, one of our moderators, big cats don't meow, I believe. Smaller do. I see a guess from Nicholas Fury. The size and nose differs, but also that smaller cats have more slit eyes and bigger cats have round eyes. It's one of the guesses. And I saw another one, which was, I think, pretty funny from Dave. Yes, bigger cats have people-eating skills. Smaller cats don't.
Yeah, the one that I was thinking about, I'm sure there's other differences as well. Take Terrell's class on Schoolism. There's an amazing sale right now. But the difference that really kind of attached to my brain was that, yeah, the muzzle is so much more elongated than a house cat, and because Terrell was saying that a cougar is actually not part of the big cat family, right? And I looked at the cougar's face and I was like, oh yeah, cougar's face actually looks much more like a small cat, but it's just this giant small cat, I guess. I don't know.
Never realized that before. That's interesting.
Yeah, so bonus points to the person that was saying muzzle, and I'm sure a bunch of people also got some really great answers that were correct. Fun stuff. And speaking of cougars, boom.
It's going in all direction all of a sudden. That's great. This subject just makes me want to rewatch The Lion King. Like it just.
Yes. Now, easier trivia. I'm sure a bunch of people probably know. What is the commonality with Darth Vader and Mufasa from The Lion King? That's like a bit of an easier question, I think. Let's see who gets it right first.
What is it, Bobby?
Whatever, you know. Or are you messing with me? I can't tell.
Yeah, I think they caught on to it quickly in chat.
Yes, the voice of the original Darth Vader is the same voice as Mufasa.
I remember when the quote-unquote live-action version came out, but it was just seeing, like, I had the animated movie as a kid growing up, and then seeing the remake into like a different visual style, it was just brought me back to being a kid. Like, it was like so emotional all of a sudden. It's quite a beautiful story.
I remember how messed up I was after like having a crush on Nala. Like, why? What's wrong with me?
Attractive, Nala.
Like, is this okay?
It's the eyes.
Yeah.
Who designed Nala?
Good question.
The young cub, I believe Aaron Blaze.
Was it?
Oh.
Yeah. Like
because we saw him at Playgrounds recently, right? And he talked about designing them.
Oh.
Yeah. I bought like his art book, and me and Weena, we were both at his booth, and Weena asked for Nala, and he said like, yeah, I designed Nala. And he was chatting a bit about it. Yeah,
That's
made a little
really cool.
doodle for her in her book.
Gross. I had a crush on Aaron Blaze's drawing.
Stop.
That's gross. Just
So
kidding,
cute.
Aaron. But you know, that's one of the wonderful things about going to a live event. It's like meeting those actual people and getting those little nuggets that you don't really come across anywhere else. You know where I'm gonna segue this to?
Where, Bobby?
Where? Oh, let me tell you where. Hey, Lightbox is happening, everybody. It's happening. We're gonna be tickets go on sale on Monday.
Oh.
So don't break our website now, but get your tickets. It's gonna be nuts.
So
Yeah,
excited.
I'm really looking forward to that. Really
Yes,
looking
sir.
forward.
Yes, sir. Kay and I will be there, as well as over 250 other amazing, incredible artists around the world. Like literally, you know, art events, artist events go. If you have like 20 guests speaking at an event, that's pretty good. If you have 40, that's really good. If you have 60, 70, that's amazing. We are really kind of like, I don't know, I feel so bullish about the Lightbox event, but 250 some odd, you know, of the best artists on the planet. So
That's
get
incredible.
ready.
Yeah, and they've been waiting, right, since
Yep.
the pandemic to attend some sort of like event.
Yeah, we've all kind of been waiting, huh? It's, you know, when something is really anticipated, when like the guests are super excited and they're like, oh, I can't wait to see this person and that person. And that's what I've been like getting so much of these past while. Just ask anybody that went to Lightbox and they could tell you. It's pretty nuts. It gets pretty nuts. In a great way.
Yeah, and it's quite bizarre that over the course of the last 2 years, we've met so many people through Discord, through Lightbox Online, that like meeting them in real life is gonna be a really like wholesome,
Trip.
bizarre experience.
Yeah.
A lot
Even
of,
the multi, like, and meeting each other and stuff, like, it's gonna be crazy.
Well, yeah, you guys met a lot of the Lightbox Discord people at playgrounds as well, right? You guys
Yeah, we had a
hosted.
few of them. Yeah, we had a few of them stay over at our house, which was really fun to meet everyone and go to the event together. It's of course scale wise it's a somewhat smaller event, but it was really fun to do. Definitely.
Yeah, Lightbox, it's like everywhere you go, you're tripping over people that you follow on Instagram or something like that.
What was your favorite Lightbox experience? The in-person one?
too
Oh
many
my
to
gosh.
mention. I don't know. Let's see. Sid Mead's his speech.
First-
Yeah, he
Mhm.
gave a really good speech. Sid Mead, it was his last appearance before he past. Sydney did like the original Blade Runner with Harrison Ford. He's like pretty much every sci-fi artist's hero. Yeah, and it wasn't live. He, due to health, he couldn't come there in person, but he did record his last appearance pretty much for Lightbox. That was very, very special.
That's crazy.
Also, what else was there? There was there was like two couples, but I only saw one of the videos where the person proposed to his girlfriend at Lightbox. Don't worry, guys, if you want to come and you just want to come for the art, there's no pressure to propose or anything. But that
Propose
was
to
really
random
cool.
strangers.
Yeah. There
That was
was
That was nice.
there was meeting the white wolf that we brought in. Well, we didn't bring. You know what I mean. It was brought in for the event, and that was
really cool.
amazing. To pet a giant white wolf, like this thing was epic. Like the sheer size of it was like just intense. Yeah, and Journey, that's the name of the wolf, will be back, I hear, at Lightbox. What else was there?
What else was there?
Oh, the
merch.
Falcons. Oh yeah.
The crazy amount of amazing merch that you just want to buy.
Literally took home an extra suitcase full of stuff. Alright, next one here. Concept Art Awards, being there for the very first Concept Art Awards, I think that's going to be really, really special, even more special as time goes on. What else is there? It was honestly, it's like shock and awe, and at the end of it, you're like, what happened? I can't even tell. Just a lot of like the simple things as well, like I was saying, there's people everywhere, so no matter where I went, it was like I would find these people that, oh man, it's great to meet you, I never met you before, or oh wow, I haven't seen you forever. Just like the conversations, that was really great. Craig Mullins demoing.
Oh gosh.
Nearly
yeah.
stopped the event. There were so many people crowded around. Oh, you know what was great? There was one with the Brick Kids. So we brought in.
Oh, that was amazing.
We were working with Brick, this wonderful organization, to bring in these underserved kids from the art or from high school and that's interested in art and stuff, and we would bring in like directors and producers, like art directors, lead artists and stuff like that, to come and talk to them about the art industry, and just painted and drew with them. And they were told that at the end, one of them would win a Wacom tablet. But in the very end, actually Wacom gave us one tablet for each of the kids to give away. And so it became like this wonderful kind of Oprah moment. You get a tablet, you get a tablet.
Aw, that's cute.
That was a good moment.
And awesome from Wacom to do it.
The party, we had like a Saturday night party that was epic and crazy. I'll stop there. About the tigers. My tigers are suffering as I keep thinking of other memories.
I got a tiger story.
Yeah.
Not sure if it's a very good one, but I have one.
Ooh, let's hear it.
My mom, she has this. So I am very affectionate with cats, and she has the same with panthers. But she collects like little panther, like bilges. What's bilges in English?
Sculptures, statues.
Sculpture
Oh, okay.
statues, yeah. And like so, her room is is sometimes covered in these like panther thingies. And we went to South America. In like there was this place with Paraguay and Brazil and Argentina, and you have there a connection point. And there was this beautiful zoo, and you had. Oh no, this was somewhere else. Doesn't matter. But she found like a place, or there was a place where you could see like a panther, and my mom was so enamored that she almost wants to pet it, and I was like, no, like the panther will eat you. And but it was really lovely to see her face, like seeing this giant, black panther in real life. It was amazing.
Oh. Where did you think that story was gonna go, Kay?
It was scary though, because she came so close to the fence, and I was like, I don't know if that fence will hold. It was just a bit scary, so I was like, no, don't do it.
Gonna be viral on YouTube.
That's how the story should have ended. It's like, and now it's a video on YouTube.
No. My mom is safe.
That's good.
But I think with totally like black creatures, it's hard to see, if you have like a picture to capture that, and seeing it in person was just, I don't know, it was amazing.
Now when I put this picture in, I was thinking, how are we gonna do all the shortcuts here? That seems really difficult. But hey, it's not about drawing what you know how to draw, right? It's about diving into challenges.
Trisha, I think someone in YouTube chat might recognize the zoo you were describing.
Yeah, the one with the pet was actually a different one, but I went there as well. It's a lovely zoo. Thank you, Christopher. Bobby, Kay?
You.
Yep.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah, we didn't hear it for a while.
Still here.
Focus mode.
Focus mode, exactly.
Cheetah looks amazing.
Yeah.
And a lot of-
I like the one that Bobby has some attitude in his.
So much attitude.
Yeah, I love how small the heads are. I generally make like bigger heads than what they should be a lot of times, and then I have to kind of take that into consideration and force myself to draw a smaller head or
Yeah.
shrink it down later. You
It's
do that
weird.
too?
Well, yeah, you adjust, right? It just.
Yeah, like I notice my head is too big now and stuff, but it's alright.
It's alright.
It's alright.
It's alright. So doing the wrong one.
Hey, look at that. Splatter brush.
Nice.
Good reason to get the Pro Plan on Magma.
We have a question on Slido from Xander. Will any part of the Lightbox be online?
Not much. You know, not this year as much. Perhaps some stuff through our Discord, so make sure that you're signed up on, you're connecting with us through the Lightbox Expo Discord. We haven't, we haven't really discussed yet the details about how Discord might be involved with this year's Lightbox, but
Sounds tricky.
yeah, sounds a bit tricky. Well, it just means that you gotta go. You gotta go there in person, everybody. Yeah, I just want to say, like, the main thing is because, like, the online version of Lightbox actually takes just about as much time as the in-person one.
Right.
And so, you know, I gotta do one of them at least. So it's like the in-person one, and it's like, we don't want to spread ourselves out too thin.
Mm-hmm.
Coming back after 3 years, you know, we went into hibernation in 2019 and went online. So for our back in-person one, I really want to put full efforts into this and really blow it out of the water. And so, yeah, we're just concentrating on the in-person versus the online this time. we definitely want to have like an online presence, at least like as an ultimate goal. Okay, so however that kind of comes out, not sure at this moment.
It's sort of like a lovely unexpected side effect from the pandemic, right? Where we're reaching out across oceans for people to attend, which is just cool.
Yeah, I know like some people might be a little disappointed and things like that.
Right.
So, you know, we're gonna try in the future.
Right.
But at the same time, like, I kind of take that as a good thing. We're making something good that people want to
Definitely.
see, right? But also, it's like, what an amazing time we live in now. It wasn't too long ago that everybody kept their artistic kind of secrets very close to their chest. Some of you might understand what I'm talking about, because that's how it generally was for everybody in the industry, right? There was far more like kind of like art secrets.
Or they were just more contained, within the studios.
Mm-hmm.
For good reason.
But also like straight up secrets, like there was so much less sharing.
Right.
All right, 10 minutes. Oops. Ah.
Hard.
Okay, here we go. Next one. Boom. Yeah, so, I definitely remember those times. And so, no matter what, like, I try to think about those kind of things and think about how lucky we are, these days, where we can be so connected.
Definitely. I think like that had really helped us through the pandemic as well, socially. Just allowing ourselves to still connect with people everywhere. It was a powerful thing.
Very much, right?
Yeah, and if you're going and you're a bit shy or something, connect with us to Discord, because then you will already make like some friends and you will feel more supported, and you want to maybe meet with some people there. It's
That's
gonna
a
be fun.
great idea. Yeah, especially if you don't know anybody that's going to Lightbox. Yeah, highly recommend that. Great suggestion. Okay. Let's see here. Wasted a good 2 minutes just thinking about what to do.
Yeah, it's a lot of
Same.
complicated fur, right? Like in the front, shaved in the back. There's a question on Slido from Alexander again. Can you mention one of these industry secrets that you were amazed to find out?
Oh. People don't work that much in studios.
That's
about that
that's
one?
a good one. Yeah, there's so many.
like as a freelancer, you're constantly thinking, oh, they're not gonna think I worked this week and stuff like that or whatever, right? But then when you go to a studio, if you're working in a studio, hey, you were at work today. Nobody's gonna say anything really, right? So it's like you can actually get away with, it feels like you can get away with a lot less work. There's crunch times and things like that, but in general, having a chat with a friend or whatever, colleague for like an hour, it's like whatever, it doesn't matter. That's how it feels. Like, let me know, pandemic friends, like, now that you are working at home, or many of you worked at home as well as in studios, is that true? Right? Like, I remember seeing one of the Bancroft brothers say, wow, working at home, I actually get so much more work done than 2-hour discussions at the water cooler about nothing.
Yeah.
Something like that. I was like, oh wow,
Productions were very like efficient during the pandemic.
Yeah,
More
it could
than
be still like more
before.
difficult at times as well, right, Kate?
Oh yeah. Well,
Like,
there's
you
pros and
can't
cons
just-
to everything.
Yeah,
You know, and it's always different every production.
exactly.
But there is some truth to that, where, you know, if you're in a studio, you have more free time to hang out and it's
Yeah,
weird.
no executives watch my streams, right? Producers don't watch my streams.
Oh, they're there. They
We're
do.
good. We're good.
Producers.
Just looking
they-
at YouTube chat to see if someone responds to the question.
What other industry secrets? I think.
You know, to be quite honest, like, there are industry secrets that have to be industry secrets. That's kind of like rite of passage if you, you know, do your time, because a lot of, you know, you do your time, you understand certain things that amateurs wouldn't. You know, it's like different kind of perspectives. So, yeah,
Some
there are
things-
some things that, you know.
You know what? There's some things where it's like I'll have these kind of discussions with people and I'll be like, I can't wait to talk to you about that in the future.
Right, right.
Right? Because
When
right
you
now, that
experience
person
it.
would not be able to understand.
Right. Like, a lot of things I see on Twitter now, of like people complaining about stuff. There are some complaints where it's like, oh, that's only because, you know, you know
yeah,
a certain level of things.
Right.
That's why you're reacting this way.
haven't been through other, like, a lot more stuff.
Right. But really, with anything, with any kind of news that you hear, you never really will hear. You will know the 100% of things unless you're part of that situation. With anything, you know, you can know so much. That's what's out there, but you don't truly know unless you're in the situation yourself.
It's making everybody even more curious, Kay. It's like, what is she talking about? I want to know, though.
And then some things you know, it's good that you don't know, you know.
True.
There's parts where it's like, yeah, ignorance is bliss.
True.
You're better off not knowing certain stuff.
Like, how to get our own series. If I knew all the, you know, stuff that we would have to go through to get that series out into the world, I don't know if I would have spent that much time on it. If there was no kind of promise of success, because a bunch of it was so lucky for us. You know, like winning the Emmy, that saved the
luck.
series. What if we didn't win the Emmy? What if we weren't spotlighted on the Apple Store for our, you know, our app? We would have lost everything that we put into it. you know, and that would have been brutal. Not to say not to go for these things though. Hey, I also want to mention, like, every great movie and stuff, a lot of them, you know, you watch those Netflix specials, like the movies that made us, Home Alone, Ghostbusters, all this stuff. Was it easy? No, not at all.
Me and Elf love that stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
that stuff is amazing.
I love that series too.
such a like interesting stories, and they never go as you expected.
Mm-hmm.
I love the one where James Cameron had to work with the British crew. That's just one of my favorite ones.
That was for Aliens, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that was just such a
that was
funny
such a
story. That's amazing.
Yeah, like how close was it to getting shut down? You know, stuff
Yeah.
like that. So, it's not about sheltering people, I think, with like candy-coated stories of nothing but success, right? It's like, let's get used to being okay with being on the harder path. That's where the success, you know, that's the path to success, is through discomfort, which is so funny that the path to comfort is paved with discomfort, right?
So right, Bobby.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of these things, it's like you can kind of treat it like a game, and it makes things so much better, right? Like if I came around and just knocked you over, Nell, like for no good reason,
Why would you do that to Nell?
you would get upset, you know.
Just
but-
look behind me just in case, but.
But say you didn't look behind you and you get knocked over, but we're playing a game of, you know, football or something, then you wouldn't be upset. You know, and it's the same action, same result. It's treated like a game.
Yeah, I think people can get really hung up on seeing problems as obstacles instead of a challenge, which if you just flip it somehow, then it becomes something fun instead of something that's making you anxious, worried, stressed.
It ties a bit into this question I have on Slido from Shark. How do you keep studies and practicing fundamentals from being boring? I try to keep doing them, but I try to do them, but I keep falling off.
Oh, commit yourself to the 90-minute art challenge here. For one, that's an easy one. Because then when you're going with other people, when you're doing things that are scheduled, it's much easier to keep it going. You know, it would be very easy for me to go, I'm going to skip the 90 Mac today. I got all these other things I got to do with Lightbox and Schoolism and all this stuff. But it's scheduled, you know, so I show up. Studies are generally, like especially when you're studying by yourself, they're not scheduled. Those are generally the things that get you those initial kind of, that foot in the door, gets you that amazing job, but is also the first thing that we let go of. And it's so funny like that. So if you don't let go of it, if you keep studying, even when you can get a job, that's all you need to do to get into that, you know, 0.1% of all artists out there. Because everybody else stops. They stop the studying. They put that down. They focus on other things.
Got no time.
Got no time. Or life is good now. You know, I got out of that horrible situation where it's hard to pay rent and whatever, and now life is good. And now I'm gonna not do those things that got me there, you know? It's natural that you could feel that, but also we're intelligent human beings, so we can analyze our thoughts and our feelings and stuff and see, is that what we want to do?
It's interesting how people underestimate that sticking with something is actually equality as well. Like it's just sticking to a goal, sticking to whatever you want to achieve.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's also like human nature to want to move on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or get discouraged, or like like stop believing in you can do it, all that stuff. You know?
Even if you can do it, though, it's hard to still keep wanting to do it. You know, like I could understand that a bit, because I get kind of tired of things once they start working too well. You know, once
It becomes too boring.
Yeah, it's like, where's the challenge here?
Yeah,
Let me find that broken piece of crap over there in the corner and let me try to fix it.
That's why I also like the 90 Mac, because you can perceive it as, okay, I'm gonna sketch this line, or you can focus maybe on the lighting or composition, or more on character design or expression. So I think it's make it interesting for yourself in the little things.
Yep.
That might help.
Totally, Patricia.
Yeah. So much of like challenges in general. I was thinking about this morning. So much of like the challenges and the things that we go through in life, the hardest part is not the actual thing itself. It's the emotions that we have that are attached to that thing.
Yeah, your mindset. Yeah.
Yeah, but just like kind of dealing with, I'm sad about this. I'm frustrated about this. But the thing itself is not the difficult part, right? You know what I mean? It's not as difficult.
Yeah, it's surprisingly powerful that you can actually choose to change your mindset, choose to learn to look at it differently, make it more positive, make it more constructive. I used to have a job, and I worked there for like 3 years, and it used to be like a way to pay my way through school.
Mm-hmm.
And then I left because I felt like I'm never coming back to this job. Like, this was so boring. I don't need it anymore. Woohoo, you know?
Yeah.
And then later I needed money a few years later, and that was the only job available that I knew was able to pay me that money. So I went back. And then you look like, how do I make this fun and interesting for myself? Because if it's going to be boring again, then it's going to be horrible. And you just change your mindset. You find different challenges in that job, different goals. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden the job was fun instead of boring. Like, it's something you have surprising a big amount of control over.
Right. Exactly. You know, you're steering your own ship instead of letting life steer it for you.
Mm.
So that's exactly what I'll do. If you don't want to take control, something's going to take control. And
Yeah,
life
good
is
point.
not, you know, you watch those nature documentaries, life is not kind. Nature is like, it's fair and brutal.
I think it's sometimes hard to see from a different perspective. Definitely if you're in a grot, or to see those things.
Right.
And it was quite funny. I think artists like that are amazing, because when the whole group came over to stay with us, me and Noah and Sarah, we went outside and did some sketching, and they saw like a lot more beautiful stuff that I was already accustomed
Taking
to.
for
because-
granted a bit.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they're looking at, oh, look at this branch or this leaf, and you're seeing like your hometown in a different view.
Right.
Yeah, it was just funny
Yeah.
to
Oh,
see.
that's a beautiful thing. I love that.
Apparently, like at Noah's place, everything is more sense colors, and here it was very much green. And she called like our trees like cutout paper trees because they're so round and so different. So yeah, those things you don't notice. You do start to notice them.
Yeah, I remember
love
when
that.
we had certain people at the Schoolism house, when we had that back in the day. there'd be people that would take pictures of the squirrels so much, like absolutely obsessed about the squirrels. Remember that, Kate?
Right.
It's like, why? Those are practically like rats, just after nuts.
Well, they were amazed. Like, they've never seen, like, we have black squirrels here.
Right.
They've only seen, like, dark brown and the red ones, I guess. But they were fascinated when they saw the black squirrels here. And we're just like, yeah, they're black.
Or like, I'm totally desensitized to Niagara Falls, which is like the biggest falls in the world. It's like a whole entire little village as like falls. You know, it's absolutely insane. But I'm completely desensitized to it now. I've been there so many times, and you know, it's like, oh, you're in town. Where do you want to go? Oh, can we go to the falls? Can we go to Niagara Falls?
That's where you want to go.
All right. Let's do that.
It's really funny how, like what we said earlier, like how other people can really help you see things in a different perspective.
Yeah.
Whether it's like family, friends, a community, or even sometimes the people you disagree with can really help you shift gear.
Love that.
Totally. I love that.
Yeah, there's so much like there's so much kind of like, I don't know, separating yourself and putting yourself together with other like-minded people.
Right.
But, and that's, you know, there's benefits with that, but also unity comes from getting to know people that you don't agree with, and
Being okay
why
with it.
are they like that, and letting them understand why you like where you are.
Totally.
Yeah, and it even falls back to the glass half full, half empty kind of thing, right? That I used to be, when I was younger, extremely skeptical about anything. And I used to be the glass half empty kind of person that was like, this situation is rough, or this is that. And then at some point you realize if you just decide it's a glass half full instead of a glass half empty, you have a totally different perspective. You're much more motivated, much more positive to actually improve things.
That was when I met Kate. I remember that. I was like, wow. Awkward compliment. Wow, life is good. It is half full. It's more than half full.
Yeah, meeting your other half definitely helps. Definitely helps.
This is really cool, huh? You notice he's in mud, or she's in mud, whatever. He or she. It's neat.
Great references, Bobby.
She has that playful ears kind of thing.
Thanks. Yeah, and also next week, it's going to be about mermaids. Since it's Mermay, we might as well do mermaids at least once.
Thanks for the great suggestion to Patricia and Nell.
Yeah.
I take no credit. That was just Patricia.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Nico.
She messaged
Nico.
Oh, it's Nico.
Oh, Nico,
Yeah, Nico
sorry.
suggested it, and I noticed and I thought of the Insta thing. Something I
Oh.
yeah.
Thank you for that.
So it's teamwork. It's teamwork.
Thank
Right
you.
on. Well, yeah. Get ready for next week as well. That's going to be really fun. Also, I want to mention the summer sale. The Schoolism... I know it's not summer yet. I know somebody's going to write, it's not summer yet. But, you know, this sale, it starts in the spring, ends in the summer. It's like right in between. So we call it the summer sale. And the Schoolism summer sale is happening right now. And you can save over 30%
It's
on
really
an
good sale.
annual Schoolism subscription, right? And that comes with, first of all, that comes with live webinars each week. I believe, like, let's see which one is coming up next. Oh my gosh. So tomorrow it's with Helen Mingju Chen.
Ooh.
Right? That's a big one. That's a big one.
It's a good one.
Yeah, and there's webinars every week, so you would get access to all the webinars. As well, you get, with your subscription, you get access to all of the courses on Schoolism. So that's pretty awesome. You can't really go wrong. And you're saving like 1/3 on an annual subscription. So do yourself a favor. Check it out. Probably should have mentioned that way earlier.
We often get like questions from people that are like, can I talk to someone who has experience with using Schoolism and stuff? And in Lightbox Discord, we have a bunch of really, I would call them veteran Schoolism students who really have a lot of experience with that. So if you ever want to like ask questions, just hop in the Discord. Yeah.
Great one.
Thank you, Mel.
I'm looking forward to tomorrow with Helen Mingyu Chen. It's gonna be awesome.
Mm-hmm. Try to keep up with her as she's painting. And you realize how good she is. Yeah, she's going to be painting live for everybody. It's going to be nuts.
There's a question on Slido from Xander. Who chooses 90 Mac topics? Can anyone submit suggestions? And if so, where to?
Put them in the
yes,
comments. You know, when this stream is over, you can put in the comments of the stream. That way it's much easier to find than in the live chat here. Then I don't have to scrub through, which I don't. So if you leave a comment on the actual video, I'll definitely see that. Or you could tweet at us and stuff. There's so many different ways, but I think the best way is just to leave it in the comments of the video. I definitely see those. Yeah, just like this one was a suggestion. I didn't think of this myself.
Oh, I thought this was your suggestion.
Oh wait, no, yeah, you're right. I didn't think of the mermaid one myself. And the previous one I didn't think of myself either, the Mr. Global. That was really fun. So, who knows, we may pick your topic next.
Yeah, with the mermaid, I think it was on Pinterest that I saw some tales, and then I saw that it was from this company, and it's such a like amazing variations of tales, and yeah, you will see it next week. I will say next week.
It's amazing. What a great like kind of occupation those people have. Just mermaids.
Professional mermaid. And you have like awesome mermen in there too, like not only mermaids.
Mm-hmm. I saw also
That's
there's
so
mer
good.
fairies. There's like half fairy, half mer
They covered it
person
all.
as well. So lots of inclusion, lots of variety.
Someone said I only have done one mermaid for mermaid, but after next week you will have a bunch of
Yep.
them.
Yes, I've done 0.
I've done 0 mermaids. I love mermaids.
There's a question on Slido from Anonymous. Hey Bobby and Kay, do you have any tips on character design?
Yeah. Get a Schoolism subscription, honestly, because there's so many great, there's like so many courses on there for character design. There's Daniel Arriaga. He art directed not just character design, but he was the art director for character design for Coco, as well as he was the character designer in Toy Story 3 and all sorts of other things. And there's Wouter Tulp. You know, you guys know who Wouter is. He's amazing. He's worked with many of the big studios as well, Sony. I don't even know. I don't want to speak for him. And then, what else is there? I do a creature design one on Schoolism. And the reason why I bring that up is because online you could still find good stuff. You know, you can find good YouTube videos, things like that, but generally they're not as polished. Generally it's more of a one-off kind of video. It's not a structured course, and that's what really brings the big transformation that people are generally looking for, right? You need to go step by step, build on top, you know, the last thing that you learned and things like that. So when it's constructed well, you actually learn quite quickly, very, very quickly. So the Schoolism courses, they're not just videos, they come with assignments that you do with the lessons and everything to really ingrain that stuff. But I also want to give like options, like how do I do this? I don't have $30, even though they're on their computer that costs way more or something like that. Who knows? But yeah, if you don't, if you want to kind of do it on the cheap, I would say to you know, go on Instagram or whatever, find those artists that you like, start studying from them, copying their work, trying to dissect it. The hard part is just not knowing what was going through their minds when they were doing this or that and things like that. And that's why having a course is really helpful, because if it's a good course, they would explain it. All right, last pose.
I just want to mention I watched the YouTube for a little bit, and I'm very loud compared to you guys.
Oh,
I don't know why.
wonderful, Patricia.
Oh.
I don't know. Somebody said I can't hear Bobby very well. I do see that you're a little bit on the lower end.
I'll keep dialing you down.
Thank you.
It's the last pose anyways. But yeah, you know, if people are watching and stuff and you notice anything, I encourage you to put it in the comments. Then we can react, and since this is live, perhaps we could do something. But yeah, apologies of the technical stuff here.
I remember for the longest time that people didn't expect it was live because just of the conversation and the drawing. And like, how can you talk and draw?
I don't know. Just kind of do, I guess. The real, like, master at it is Helen Mingju Chen, honestly.
Honestly.
Right? Because Helen,
I
she
was
could
gonna
talk about something
say.
completely different,
I was gonna say, oh my
totally
gosh.
different topic, and still not miss a beat with her drawings. You could feel free to bring your questions to her workshop there. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
she'll answer it all.
The webinar. Yeah, so if you take advantage of the sale, you'll have live webinars every week for a year, except maybe like Christmas or something. Maybe we'll skip like 1 or 2 weeks at the most. But then you'd also have a library of curriculum for pretty much every painting, drawing, and sculpting subjects as well. Just dumb this out.
Oh, this is lines from a thumbnail, right?
Yeah.
Thumbnail lions.
Thumbnail lion, yeah.
You're so funny.
He does have a little funky mohawk going on.
Right? So cute. Stretch that mohawk.
Oh, you know what's another good industry secret is like, I'm sure there's no producers listening at this point, right?
This is recorded.
This one's a good one. It's actually really funny. You know, there's certain like almost like catchphrases that happen every, you know, period or whatever, where that's what everybody wants in the industry,
Oh,
right?
yeah. That's
So
a
like,
good one.
right? So after, I want to say after Spider-Verse, oh my goodness, everybody wanted to do something in Spider-Verse style. And there was kind of like this, almost like a catchphrase. If you said this catchphrase, chances are good. And the catchphrase is,
Is that
wish fulfillment.
Oh, I knew
Right?
it.
So you try to work
It's-
that in. What kind of stories are you interested in?
But-
Well, I like this because it's really about wish fulfillment for
But
me.
Bobby, isn't that like an age-old kind of, you know, thing that they say? Since
I feel like
you want to see wish fulfillment in the movies.
it definitely got a lot more importance because of like all the superhero movies and such, right? That's what really made it that much more kind of viral, right? But like I didn't hear that as much before, and then
They were just not upfront about it, I guess.
well, it just wasn't like that phrase that you really want to catch. Like, of course, right now it's diversity. We want to have diversity in this film.
You're right, yeah. Which is a great thing.
Yeah.
A lot of good changes happen.
Yeah, as long as they're not using it as just a buzzy kind of word, right? And they go, yeah, diversity.
As long as it's not just performance. You mean.
Right, it's not
There's-
just posturing.
But
But that's such a good one, isn't it? Like the wish fulfillment thing, I used that a couple times, and the
And you hit
reactions
the
I
mark.
got was like, oh, perfect.
that's
perfect.
exactly what
Exactly. Yeah. Or another really good one is, yeah, I think for your project, what I want to do is really try to find something that is different yet familiar.
Oh, that's always a good one.
Yeah, but that's kind of like an industry. You wouldn't know that in school.
All of them want something that's different.
Exactly.
Mm.
Which is the most funniest
And
thing,
then
right?
they'll dial it back down to what isn't different.
Yeah, most of them will
Because-
water it down until it's like it's not different
Right,
anymore.
because they're going by, the market. What do people want?
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good one though. I like that one.
I want to mention something in chat. Dana Miro. I took an in-person class years ago in Toronto and still uses a lot of information will be passed on.
Oh,
And the
that's
stylus holder K made.
Oh, what?
Oh, old school. Who's this
What?
person? What's their name?
Dana Miro?
Dana Mero. Wow, big shout out to
What? Thanks,
Dana
Dana.
Mero.
No, that rings a bell. I'm bad with names, but
Yeah,
rings a
that's
bell.
quite the little collector item you got there. I think the pen holder by K. Yeah, and that was quite a while ago, huh?
Sweet.
That was like one of the first workshops that I ever did with, that Schoolism ever did, right?
That was so sweet. Thanks, Dana.
Mm-hmm.
Good memories.
All right, fantastic. Oh my goodness. Amazing job, Kate.
Oh, I love your lion.
Thank you. I wish I could take another stab at it. But
Definitely gonna have to keep
however,
going.
our time is done. So thank you to everybody that tuned in today. Upload your stuff, tag us, and then we will share our favorites and share a bunch of
Try to do our
90 Mac
best. Yeah.
submissions. Yeah, and join in next week. Remember to subscribe to this channel, then hit the notification button. That way, if you ever miss a stream, you would be notified. And that way, you'd never miss a stream. All right, everybody. Thank you to everybody that attended, the mods,
Thank
the
you,
mod
mods.
team.
Thank you for your questions.
Yes. And thank you, of course, to everybody on Lightbox Expo Discord, as well as my wonderful co-host, Kay. Thank you, Kay.
Thank you, Bobby.
All right, everybody. See y'all next week. Take care. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye.
Bye, guys.